Hi data scientists, I'm Jessica and today we're going to be learning about complex conditionals. So we're going to write Python code to store all sophomore level IS courses into DF courses. A sophomore level IS course is an IS course with the course number including or between 200 and 299. So it's everything from 200 all the way to 299, IS 200, IS 201, all the way to IS 299. So in this problem, we're given a data frame, DF, that is loaded with a bunch of information about courses that are provided at UIUC. So we have the year, the term, the subject, the number, the name, the etc. So they essentially want us to take this data frame with all the courses and filter it so that we're only left with sophomore level or 200 level IS courses. So in this case, they're essentially asking us to filter by two things. They first want us to filter only sophomore level classes. Sophomore. And then we only want to find the IS classes. Okay, so let's see which column we need to filter for each of these variables. So for sophomore level, they say that sophomore level is any 200 level class. And the course number is stored in the number column. So we're going to be using the number column to make it so that the number is somewhere between 200 and 299, including 200 and including 299. And then we want to filter by IS. And IS is the subject, and so that's located in the subject column. And we just want to set the subject equal to only IS. Okay, so let's take a look at how our code is going to look. So first, we want to filter by sophomore level classes. So we're going to take our original DF and we're going to use DF number as stated above because the number has the course number. And we want the number to be less than 300 or less than or equal to 299 if that makes more sense to you. If you use the equal, it's going to include the number. So less than or equal to 299 would include 299, which is what we want to do. Just less than would not include the number. So less than 300 would not include 300. So we want it less than 299, and we also want it to be greater than or equal to 200. And always remember, syntax-wise, that when doing complex conditionals, you want to have our parentheses between each one, around each one. And in this case, we're using a AND symbol. So when you use an AND symbol, we only want to filter out the rows where both these conditionals are true. So we want it to be less than 300 and we want it to be greater than 200. If we use an OR, that would mean that we only wanted one of the conditionals to be true. So for example, we would have rows with 400 level classes because the 400 level classes satisfy this conditional even if they don't satisfy this conditional. But we don't want 400 level classes. We only want things that are between 200 and 300, which is why we're using an AND. So once we have our sophomore level classes, which is stored in DF sophomore, it's going to look something like this. As you guys can see, if you take a look at the number column, you can see that all the numbers are somewhere between 200 and 300. So now once we have DF sophomore, we're going to use DF sophomore and filter it into only IS classes. So that's going to look something like this. We're going to take the subject column and we're going to set it, we want only the subjects that are equal to IS. And it's important to keep in mind to use DF sophomore and not the original DF data frame. So we use DF sophomore as a variable name to store all of our sophomore level classes. If you use the original DF, then you would be left with IS classes, but IS classes across all school year levels, not just the sophomore level classes. So we want only sophomore, which is why we're using DF sophomore and not DF. So I think personally that it's easier to when you have complex conditionals like this, to break it down into multiple steps, but it's important to keep your data frame names constant so that you remember which data frame you're using. So we want to use this data frame with only the sophomore level classes, not the original data frame. But some of you guys may be wondering if I can do this all in one line. And yes, you can. So this is what our DF courses would look like. It's important to store the variable in DF courses because that's what they want the result to be stored in. This is what it would look like. As you can see, all the subjects are IS and all the course numbers are somewhere between 200 and 300. You can do this all in one line by simply just adding an extra and symbol and then putting our last conditional, which is saying that we want the subject equal to IS, and you'd get the same results as splitting it up and doing it. Whatever makes it easier for you guys.